Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Whoa! This is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Joel of the Jungle.
Wow. Hey guys, what's up? Oh man. Use my name first and then the description.
It's getting crazy. So today we are here to talk about a brand new horror film from 2021. It's an A24 production, and it's called False Positive from Hulu.
Hulu exclusive.
Yeah. So, Joel, who is a part of this one?
So, this one stars, I'm probably going to butcher this name, but Ilana Glazer. She was in Broad City, which is a Comedy Central show. Comedy Central, I was going to say it's a comedy show, obviously, on Comedy Central. A movie called Rough Night, and The Night Before with Seth Rogen. And also Justin Theroux. He was in American Psycho, Mulholland Drive. He was the evil DJ in Zoolander. Their breakdance fighting. The one with like the dreads. And he was in The Leftovers, which was a pretty good show.
Ah, yes.
It was on for like 3 seasons. And Bond himself, Pierce Brosnan. He was in The Thomas Crown Affair, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Shattered, with Gerard Butler, which I think is probably my favorite movie of his.
Yeah, man. That's a good one.
That was a good movie, yeah.
It has another name, too.
Does it?
Something about a butterfly, I want to say. I don't know.
But
yeah, it has no, no, but it does have another name other than Shattered. I think it.
I think most movies do, like in other countries, or they have a different name for their movies for some reason.
Yeah.
This was written by Ilana Glazer. She did the screenplay. She wrote Ilana Glazer, The Planet is Burning. It's a stand-up special from last year, 2020. She's a creator of Broad City and the creator of a show called The Time Traveling Bong, which lasted 3 episodes.
What? Wow.
Time Traveling Bong, yes.
I didn't really recognize her in this movie, but I guess she's like a comedian?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no, she's okay. I've seen the show Broad City like once or twice before. She's pretty funny in it.
Okay.
And John Lee did the screenplay as well, and he's also the director of this movie. And he's a creator of a show called Doggy Fizzle Televizzle. It lasted 8 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
Wonder Chosen. He's a creator of that for 17 episodes. And his shows don't last very long. I've been noticing here. The Heart She Holler creator, 28 episodes.
All right. Interesting.
And there's one more writer. which is kind of crazy for this movie. But there's Alyssa Nutting. She's the original story was by her. She wrote 7 episodes of Teenage Euthanasia. That's
Wow.
quite the title for a show.
Jeez.
And Made for Love, the creator, 8 episodes, which is an HBO Max show, which actually doesn't look too bad. It's actually been on my list for a little while.
Okay.
It came out like a month ago or so. And this was directed, like I said, by John Lee. He directed Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
Wow.
6 episodes of Broad City. And 17 episodes of Wonder Chosen, which is basically the entire series.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah. That's
quite the cast.
Oh, yeah. Quite the filmography for those guys.
Yeah. All right. So, as if getting pregnant weren't complicated enough, Lucy sets out to uncover the unsettling truth about her fertility doctor. Played by Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
The
evil James Bond.
Yes. Right away, he's a positive for me in this. He does a really good job at being creepy doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, this one, the reason why I wanted to do this one was mostly because it's an A24 film, and I know that production company has been getting a lot of respect in horror, but also a lot of debate and a lot of
they're hit or miss.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of like it or don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the like Midsummer, Hereditary, The Lighthouse. I think Saint Maud was also A24.
Yeah, A24.
So some of those movies, or The Witch as well. Those movies have been, generating a lot of conversation. So I wanted to make sure that we touch on those films, and this was one of them. So
it's weird that this is one of them. This doesn't feel anything like the other movies.
Yeah, not mostly. Yeah, I'd say some parts do, but yeah, not particularly.
Yeah, there's just something about the A24 movies for the most part. They're very artsy.
Yeah,
and I mean this one definitely does feel artsy, but in a more lighthearted way.
Yeah.
Than the majority of the other A24 movies. So I don't know. When you said that it was A24, I had completely forgotten that it was.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. That's right. This one was A24.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's because of how artsy yet kind of. This isn't going to drum up as much attention as the other movies.
No.
The other movies, for the most part, were like award nominated movies.
Yeah.
Like they were made to be nominated or, to win awards. This one was sort of just made and sort of pushed under the rug, sent to Hulu.
Yeah.
Like it's, this is not going to get a theatrical release. It's just there kind of thing. And I like that A24 is a production company that I had forgotten did this movie, because that shows me that they are capable of doing more lighthearted yet artsy movies.
Yeah. As
opposed to how deep and kind of droll some of their other movies are.
Right.
In comparison. So they're capable of doing more than just like Hereditary and The Lighthouse and Saint Maud, which was a good movie. I really enjoyed Saint Maud. We both did.
Yeah.
But it's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one's not nearly as heavy as any of the other ones.
Right.
Really. So.
All right. Well, let's talk about what you liked.
All right. So yeah, I did like the acting for the most part in this movie, especially with Pierce Brosnan. His acting was really good. His character was just really creepy, And I like how it starts out like right away. Like you see her walking down the street and she's covered in blood.
Yeah.
And then we meet the doctor like 5 minutes into the movie, which I thought was going to be more like a bit of a build-up than that. I thought we might see him at like maybe the half-hour mark or something. I didn't know he was, for such a big-name actor, I didn't know he was going to like actually be a main character in this movie.
Right.
And so I liked that he was in it. I liked, so the moment that we go into the hospital or clinic, wherever it is technically that they're at, I liked that you could tell right away that there was something off about the place.
Yeah.
Like the assistants were very like Stepford Wives kind of.
Yeah.
And like very robotic.
Right.
And just like, yeah, he's the greatest doctor in the world, and I have so much respect for him, and I love him. And it's just like, hey, okay, you can chill a little bit on some of that. Like, this isn't, I mean, that's not how people usually react about their bosses.
Yeah.
So I liked that right away. You could feel something was off about the whole establishment.
Yeah.
And it felt loosely like a Rosemary's Baby reboot.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what they were going for. And that's exactly what it felt like. I mean, it was more fast paced than Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
That movie was all about like the slow burn up and leading up until the finale, the final moment. But this was more of like a millennial made Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Like it was more fast paced and everything. So I do like that they used, it was sort of like paying homage to Rosemary's Baby.
Right.
And I think I did read that Adrian, who is Justin Theroux's character, his name, that was actually Rosemary. The actual baby's name was Adrian. So,
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that was intentional.
Yeah.
So I do like that. And the story was interesting. I did enjoy the story. I mean, it's a story that, to a certain extent, a lot of people go through themselves. Like they're not able to get pregnant, and so they go see a doctor who will, help them. I mean, doctor's not this psychotic, normally, but yeah. So it's something that people do experience. Just, a very Hollywoodized version of what people experience.
Sure.
And yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, I think I pretty much said quite a bit there for positives. I think I said more positives than I thought I was going to, actually.
All right. So for me, overall, I liked it. There's a scene where, I'm not going to give too many spoilers away. There's kind of a big one at the end. Well, there's a couple. It has a really weird ending, like a very really ending. Does. It's really disturbing. It does. But there's another like plot twist that is something I won't mention. But so there might be a little bit here and there that I mentioned that you'll maybe not have wanted to know. I don't know. But there's a scene, it's kind of toward the beginning. She finds out that she's going to have triplets. And so it's like, okay, here's one baby, and then here's another baby, and then here's another baby. And it's all through the ultrasound. And the music that's playing there, I don't know if I would say it's music, it's more like sound. Is just so intense, and it made me like so uncomfortable watching that scene, and like you can like feel the panic that she's going through as she's discovering that she now has 3 kids.
Yeah.
And, that I thought that was good. And that's what this movie has. It has those moments where there's that sound or that atmosphere that it does build for certain scenes. It's not a lot like the other A24 movies. That's pretty much the whole movie has that.
Yeah.
This movie has it, but it's very sparing. But when it does have it, it's very effective. So I did like that. I did like the end, even the very end, as disturbing as it is. I thought it was interesting.
That was the A24 artsy part of it.
Yeah. Definitely had some weird choice moments to put in the movie.
It did.
Especially that part. But the violence, I'll say, toward the end was cool. I liked the fight scenes, I guess you could say.
You get them in like flashbacks as she's walking down the street, I think. And they just show in flashbacks and stuff. Yeah.
I think, and then the whole Rosemary's Baby feel that it has. I thought that was cool. I like Rosemary's Baby. I think that's a good movie. So, they kept talking about mommy brain throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, they did.
Which it became like funny after a little while to hear that excuse for everything. It was funny. I think it's
a real thing, but it's like you're using that as an excuse too many times for all these things to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how that works. Exactly.
I think, like you were saying, people can relate to this because some people, need to go to a doctor if they want to have a baby. But I think this is relatable to people other than just, trying to have a baby. I think doctors can be so trusted, like something's going wrong with you and you don't know what it is. But if a doctor tells you it's okay, you're going to trust that,
Yeah.
And there's certain parts where, she goes back to the doctor because she doesn't feel good or whatever. And he's like, oh, it's just this. It's no big deal. And he tells her, no more Googling. And like doctors will say that, they'll tell you like, oh, you can go down a rabbit hole on the internet, they'll tell you.
Well, WebMD is a big thing that people tend to go down, and it's like one of the worst sites you can possibly possibly go to find out what's wrong with you. So
right, no, it's a real thing, that you can get a little out of hand with what you think might be wrong with you, but at the same time, if a doctor tells you that you're okay, a lot of people are going to feel okay, I trust you. But what if you're trusting somebody like this guy,
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you think twice. And he's a very reassuring doctor. And he knows the husband, and so there's that connection. People wait on, wait lists for him forever and, all this. And just Pierce Brosnan does such a good job with playing that character. He has the accent. He just has that certain charisma. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that is relatable to people for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And did you know... So, well, off air, I'll ask you if you know about this, because it'll bring up the ending. So we won't talk about that while we're recording.
Okay.
And I think this movie does have something to say about, women's choice and things like that, because she made a choice in this film that was not granted. It was the males of the movie who ultimately got to make choices for her. So I think it is trying to say something about that, which is then the A24, kind of putting their stamp on it. There's always got to be some sort of hidden meaning or, something more to be said.
Yeah.
So,
There's actually a moment that I'm going to be talking about here in a little bit that I had to like make a comment on.
Okay.
For a negative for
Well, go for it, because I'm done.
Something like that. You're done with it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to start with something else, but since I'm already talking about it, there was a moment where she's listening or watching like a video of this other doctor, I guess, like the black woman. Yeah, the midwife. Yeah, I was trying to, and I wrote down, is this a woke movie? Because there is a part in it where she goes, the woman she goes to halfway through says women were having babies for centuries before man came up with solutions. Yeah. And basically how like man has all the power and everything. And it's like, okay, well, there are female doctors as well. Like, it's not, I mean, I kind of understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, you're trying to add something that's kind of unnecessary to this story. Like, I get that. I mean, the two main men in the movie were the ones that like made the choice for her. Like, I understand all of that and everything. But it's like that whole scene, I was like, was that really necessary to put in the movie? Like, right. Women were having babies for centuries until man decided they were going to be in charge of it. And it's like, okay, that's not... I understand where you're going with this as far as, women's right to choose and everything like that. But it felt kind of forced to be in this movie. Yeah, it didn't need to go right out and say that, Yeah.
Could have, I mean, like I said, I didn't even mention that. I totally forgot about that. I thought the more, the better way of doing it was with just the actual characters and their behavior,
mm-hmm.
in the movie. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And another negative that I put, and I don't even know if it's technically negative, it just seemed a little weird and out of place. How all the guys that she worked with all seemed pretty creepy to me.
Yeah.
It was just like they just felt unnaturally creepy
I think all the guys in the movie were pretty creepy. I mean, even her husband, I mean, I don't know if he was creepy, but he was kind of a jerk at times,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Those are pretty much, for the most part, the negatives that I had about this movie. I did enjoy it. It was a good movie. But it just, I don't know, some of those scenes were just like, I don't know, I just kind of felt like they didn't really need to be in the movie.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what they were trying to say with having the men that she's working with be that creepy. Like I get the doctor is creepy, and I get that. I mean, there's more to the husband than we've talked about.
Yeah.
That would go into spoiler territory, so we're not going to do that. But there's only like 3 other guys in the entire movie, so I guess they had to make everybody kind of creepy. So
well, I don't think that was by accident.
Oh no, I definitely wasn't. But I'm just like, I don't know, as far as making them creepy, I don't know what the purpose of that was.
Yeah.
For those characters.
Well, it was her. She was a woman who wanted to have both her career, her baby. Mm-hmm. She was gonna live the dream, right?
Yeah.
But that, the men of her life kind of started taking those things away from her. And I think the creepy people at her job I think was trying to show that
you can't have it.
Yeah.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right, kind of right. And they were kind of just slimy,
Mm-hmm.
And
they kept saying that well, we knew you were pregnant. You look glowing. Like,
Yeah.
guys don't talk like that. That's not something guys notice. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
But that was definitely like women writing men's lines or something. It's like, guys don't normally say that, but okay. But I guess that's the whole point. Like, and it could just be that they weren't actually creepy, but from her, since she had mommy brain at this point.
Yeah.
Although they were kind of creepy before she even got pregnant, though.
Yeah.
Like her boss, there was just something off about him. Even from the first moment we saw him, I was like, there's something wrong with this guy. Like I don't know. He's a little sketch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she got pregnant and he just got a little bit worse. So it's like that part of it, I understand because we're seeing it from her pregnant point of view, I guess.
Sure.
And it's not a normal pregnancy. So, I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. Maybe that played a part in it as well. But, I mean, I guess even the women were kind of weird, too. Yeah. Like, the assistants were very, like, what I was talking about, like, very robotic and very Stepford Wives. And even her friend ended up, you know, kind of stabbing her in the back, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a small spoiler, but I'm not giving away what happened. So I guess in her mind, there were no good people in her life.
All right. So for me, for negatives, it was just some weird stuff. You know, just some kind of quirky scenes. There's a couple of scenes where I'm not sure, just because of how the transitions were done. I'm not sure what was real and what wasn't. If what she was seeing was actually happening or if it was a dream. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because something would happen and then it would like show her waking up, but it wasn't like she woke up like startled, you know, like she just had a dream. It was more so she was just in bed. So I'm like, did that actually happen or what? So,
yeah,
you know, I don't know if that's a negative. Just, I guess you can kind of make your own determinations on that stuff. There's one scene in particular where the husband and the doctor are doing something a little interesting that I was like, what the heck? Okay.
Yeah.
Did that really happen? I don't know.
I don't know.
So.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I don't know. That was interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the negative would be just some of the weirdness in it that maybe didn't need to be there. But, you know, I like some weirdness in some movies. So, it didn't really bother me too much.
And I what was with the Peter Pan references? Like, they referenced the mom, or her mom, but they never talked about, like, she's naming the daughter Wendy after her. Like, it's a Peter Pan reference.
Yeah.
Like, and then at some point later on, she, like, plays a Peter Pan musical or something like that. Like, was it supposed to be her mom? Was she, like, in a musical? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
There's references, but we never find out anything about her mom. Like,
I'm not sure. I mean, Wendy is in the book and in the movie Peter Pan. It's a character.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
But
and that was
that,
a Peter Pan reference. But it's like, but that was for her mom though. Like, she wanted to name Wendy after her mom or for her mom.
Yeah.
Who was somehow involved in Peter Pan. They didn't go into any kind of specifics, and I kind of wanted something. Like, give me some line, like one line.
Yeah.
To, like, reference what you're talking about with your mom.
Yeah.
Like,
this is definitely one of those movies, you know, if you enjoy it enough to watch again, to kind of see if you catch certain things like that. Maybe there is some sort of subtle reference that we missed. Because Peter Pan is definitely referenced numerous times in the movie.
It is.
Like a Peter Pan book is involved, and there's a scene at the end where Peter Pan is definitely referenced, and
I was confused by that.
Yeah.
If it's the same scene, that I was
yeah.
Did she just do what I think she did, and then she didn't?
Well,
So
and
I'm
that's
like,
kind of
okay.
what I'm talking about with the weirdness, and what's real, what's not real. But I feel like maybe if you watched it a couple times, you might be able to kind of come up with your own conclusions. And I like movies like that, so I gotta. I can't really say it's a bad thing. So.
Yeah, no, I like movies like that too. That makes you. It sort of forces you to watch it multiple times to fully understand what's going on. Yeah. Which I might watch this one again at some point.
Yeah, me too.
So,
all right, let's grade it. What do you got?
All right, I'm going to give this one an 83.
All right, very nice. I'm going 79.
All right.
I liked it. I'm surprised you gave it 83. I was thinking when we were talking earlier before we started recording, and you were like, "All right, let's do." I just false positive. Like I was thinking, oh man, you're kind of dreading this.
I honestly thought that I was going to until we started talking about it, and it was just like, okay, well, there were definitely some stuff that I wasn't a fan of, but there was also quite a bit of it that I did like.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely, I mean, it's not going to be a top 10 of the year or anything like that, but it's also not a bad movie either.
Yeah.
So I thought after watching it the other night that I was going to grade it worse than I did.
Yeah.
But after thinking about it and after talking about it, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
So
it got horrible reviews on IMDb. I think it has like a 4 point.
It's got like a 4 point something on. Yeah.
It's got some bad reviews.
People are overly judgmental.
Yeah.
When it comes
to this, I mean, if anything, this should be in the 5s at minimum, because it's there's not really a way I don't think somebody could say that this is a bad movie. You know what I mean? Like it's not bad. There's not bad writing. There's not bad acting. It's maybe is your thing or it isn't your thing, but you got to respect a movie for being a good enough movie.
I think people just automatically hate it because it's A24.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then why watch it?
The ones,
you know what I mean? If you're already going to have that.
Well, maybe some of those people didn't watch it and just gave it a bad review on IMDb.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to say anything. They can just say,
that's true. This
is a 1 or a 0. Like, I don't think you can go below 1, but.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the fact that it's like a 4 point something means that people were giving it a 1.
True. Yeah.
It's like, this is definitely not like that. That means that this is the worst movie you've ever seen in your life. Come on.
My favorite thing is when I go on there and I look at the reviews. I might read like the headline or whatever, the title.
Yeah.
My favorite things are when there's a 10 and it says, I created an account so I could review this movie.
Yeah, there's lots of
or if there's a 1 and it's the same thing. I created an account so I could.
I've seen that so many times. It's ridiculous.
I don't trust those at all.
Yeah.
You're a little too dramatic for me. So.
Yeah. Or I gave this a 1 because so many people were giving it a 10 or something like that. It's like
trying to even up the score.
It's too high then. Yeah. It's like, come on. Just give your honest opinion. Don't just say whatever just to be a troll, basically, is what you're doing.
Right. That's funny.
Our viewers don't do that, though. So
no, of course not. All right. Well, this has been our review on False Positive from 2021. Go find us on social media. We're on Facebook. We are on Instagram, and we are on Twitter. And you can find us on the many different podcast streaming platforms that are out there. And this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Peter Pan by